A very warm good morning to all of you. Welcome back to the world of English literature. Today we are going to study a new chapter from a short story session. We have already seen the introductory part of this chapter, chapter number 9, The Greatest Olympic Prize by Jesse Owens, part 1. When we were going through the introductory part of this chapter, I have told you this is not a story. Rather than a story, it's an incident which happened in the life of Jesse Owens. And I have explained very well who was Jesse Owens. So without wasting time, let's move to the chapter. It was the summer of 1936. The Olympic Games were being held in Berlin because Hitler childishly insisted that his performers were members of a master race. Nationalistic feelings were at an all-time high. Here there is an unfamiliar word for you, master race, which means there was a belief in the minds of the people, especially the members of Nazi party. They were having a belief, or they were believing that Aryans are the elite race in the world. All other group of people are inferior to those group of people, or Aryans were the superior race in the world. Now let's read this paragraph once again. It was the summer of 1936. The Olympic Games were being held in Berlin. So the story is being explained in the background of Berlin Olympics 1936. So during the summer of 1936, the Berlin Olympics took place. And the venue fixed for the Berlin Olympics was in Berlin, or the Olympics in 1936 were being held in Berlin. There was a reason behind it. Hitler, he insisted that his performers, or the contestants from his country, they belongs to a master race. So that's why if there is an Olympic Games in 1936, it must be in Berlin. And nationalist feelings were at an all-time high. The people were fully charged with the nationalist feeling. In the introductory part, we have already studied about the criticism. So throughout the work, or throughout this story, Jesse Owens is trying to say or trying to criticize the concept of master race. So that's why it started from the first paragraph itself. Now let's see. I wasn't too worried about this. I had trained, sweated and disciplined myself for 6 years with the games in mind. While I was going over on the boat, all I could think about was taking home 1 or 2 of those gold medals. I had my eye especially on the running board jump. So see, the feeling of the writer, he wasn't too worried about all these kinds of master race and Aryan superiority theory. Such kinds of thoughts were not at all a matter for Jesse Owens. What was the reason behind it? He was fully confident because he had trained, sweated and disciplined himself for 6 years with the games in mind. For an athlete, he will be having only one intention in his life, and that was about the Olympic Games, to take part in the Olympics game, to achieve at least a gold medal. So that will be the dream of an athlete. So since last 6 years, Jesse Owens was really working hard, and he was having a dream in his mind that was about the Olympic Games. While I was going over the boat, I could think about was taking home 1 or 2 of those gold medals. So when he was traveling towards Berlin, when he was traveling from America to Berlin to take part in the Olympics, he was thinking about taking 1 or 2 gold medals to his home. I had my eye especially on the running board jump. So the main event in which he got trained and in which he was very confident, it was long jump. So he was having very much confidence, especially on the running broad jump. A year before, as a sophomore at Ohio State University, I set the world's record of 26 feet 8 and a quarter inches. Everyone kind of expected me to win that Olympic event hands down. Here there is a new word, a new vocabulary for you. Sophomore, which means a second year undergraduate. That means a student, a second year student of high school or a second year student of graduation. So a year before, when he was a second year graduate at Ohio State University, he set the world's record of 26 feet 8 and a quarter inches. So it was a world record during when he was studying as a second year graduate student at Ohio State University. So the people who had seen his performance, everyone kind of expected me to win that Olympic event hands down. So the people who witnessed that event, they believed that, of course, Jesse Owen will beat the game and he will score or he will get a gold medal. So that was the expectation of the people who had seen my performance. I was in for a surprise. When the time came for the board jump trials, I was startled to see a tall boy hitting the pit at almost 26 feet on his practice leaps. He turned out to be a German named Lüslow. I was told that Hitler had kept him under wraps, evidently hoping to win the jump with him. There are two unfamiliar words for you. First of all, startled, which means excited by sudden surprise. And second one, kept him under wraps, which means kept him hidden. So I was in for a surprise. So finally everything was ready and it was a time for getting qualified into the Olympics. So when the time came, Lüslow, he says that he was in for a surprise. He surprised. What was the reason? When the time came for the board jump trials, I was startled to see a tall boy hitting the pit at almost 26 feet on his practice leaps. So what was a shocking incident for him? He was shocked or he was surprised to see a tall boy. During his trial jumps, he was reaching almost 26 feet. As we know, during the trial version, nobody will be serious about it. So this boy who was jumping near about 26 feet, during Lüslow's thought, even in the trial practice, if he can reach up to 26 feet, then if he is serious about his jump, how much he could reach. Then he thought, he turned out to be a German named Lüslow. So his name was Lüslow and he was belonging to German. I was told that Hitler had kept him under wraps, evidently hoping to win the jump with him. So actually Hitler kept him hidden. Hitler never disclosed that he is having such a talented athlete, because if he is revealing about his quality, about his reach to the world, the other countries, the other nations will train their athletes in such a way, and that way Hitler may lose a medal in the Olympics. So that's why Hitler kept Lüslow under wraps, evidently hoping to win the jump with him. I guessed that if Lüslow won, it would add some new support to the Nazis' Aryan superiority theory. After all, I'm a Negro, a little hot under the collar about Hitler's ways. I determined to go out there and really show Der Führer and his master race who was superior and who wasn't. two unfamiliar words are there for you. First of all, Negro, a person with dark skin who comes from Africa. You might have seen the color combination of the skin of a person who is coming from Africa. So the dark skin, or a person with dark skin, usually from Africa. So those people are being known as Negroes. Second word, Führer, a political title given to Adolf Hitler. So let's move to the paragraph. I guessed that if long worn, it would add some new support to the Nazis' Aryan superiority theory. So Lislong is the opponent to Jesse Owens, or actually Lislong is competing against Jesse Owens. So that's why he is feeling that if long won in the Olympic Games, especially in the long jump, it would add some new support to the Nazis' Aryan superiority theory. What was the reason behind it? After all, I'm a Negro. Jesse Owens feels that, after all, he's a Negro. So if Lislong won, which means Nazi will strongly believe that there is such a fact about Aryan superiority theory, which means Aryan superiority theory is a reality. So that's why he was not happy with that. A little hot under the collar. Actually, a little hot under the collar is an idiom used in this particular situation. A little hot under the collar means embarrassed or angry about something. So Jesse Owens got angry or embarrassed. What about Hitler's ways or the Hitler's teachings? So Hitler already told that if there is an Olympics in 1936, it must be taking place in Berlin. And he had done so many other things, like he never revealed about Lislong. So many number of things are there. So Jesse Owens was getting angry about Hitler's nature, his attitude and his ways. I determined to go out there and really show Führer and his master race who was superior and who wasn't. So Jesse Owens decided to show Hitler and his people who is really superior and who wasn't. An angry athlete is an athlete who will make mistakes, as any coach will tell you. I was not exception. On the first of my 3 qualifying jumps, I leaped from several inches beyond the takeoff board for a foul. On the second jump, I fouled even worse. Did I come 300 miles for this? I thought bitterly. To foul out of the trials and make a fool of myself. A few number of unfamiliar words are there, like leaped, which means jumped from a surface. Second one, foul, break the rules in a game. There are a number of rules in a game, so once if we break those rules, it will be considered as fouls. In TV or in television or in videos you might have seen, especially when the games are going on. In football, in basketball, in cricket, fouls are there. So break the rules in a game. Bitterly, which means angrily or unhappily. Now let's try to understand the meaning of this paragraph. An angry athlete is an athlete who will make mistakes, as any coach will tell you. So as an athlete, we must be very calm about what we are going to do. If an athlete is becoming angry, means he will make mistakes. And every coach will instruct their disciple, or they will tell the athlete that you should not be angry at any situation, especially when you take part in an event. So here the coach instructed Jesse Owens that he should not be angry, but he became angry because of the way or the methods or the activities of the Hitler. I was no exception. So Jesse Owens, he also did the same. He became angry and he made mistake. What was the mistake? On the first of my 3 qualifying jumps, I leaped from several inches beyond the takeoff board for a foul. Just imagine, this man made a world record when he was at Ohio University. And here he is not even being qualified. Why? He made mistakes. What was the mistake he did? He became angry. So he leaped from several inches beyond the takeoff board for a foul, and all those jumps became foul. On the second jump, I fouled even worse. So when people make a mistake for the first time, in the second time they'll be very conscious about it, which means they will try to avoid making foul again. But here, his second jump, he made foul, or he fouled even worse. Then he started to think, did I come 3,000 miles for this? I thought bitterly. He was not at all happy with his own performance. He was little angry about his performance. That's why he started to ask himself, did I came 3,000 miles for this, to foul out of the trials and make a fool of myself? Did I came from America for making fouls and to get disqualified from the Olympics? He started to ask himself. Dear students, I hope you understood the part which I have explained right now. Here we are winding up today, and we will continue with the chapter in the next class. Till then, I would like to sign off. Thank you.